Yeah.
All right, we are live, ETV Live, Charlotte Motor Speedway, Hallsville Post, Monday Night Madness tonight. Kind of a short show tonight, but something a little bit special. Tracy Flip Robinson in the booth down there on the bottom. JD the Cowboy Webb, that's me up on top. Wendy Bernard sitting alongside us. Of course, John the Bad Boy Wrestling in the back. Behind us both here, Tracy, pushing the buttons, Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I'll tell you what, short show for the pre-race. So why don't we just jump right to the points, Tracy, and we'll take you down through the Hallsville Post Monday Night Series points. Sitting at the top, Jason Riddle, putting on quite a show, Tracy. He's up a position this week, I believe, over Kevin Brent's, 161 points. In second place, number 42, Kevin Brent. I believe he dropped down one position, guys. He's tied with Jason Riddle, though, at 161 points, Tracy. Okay, and then in third is going to be the number 7 of James Greegate. He's 9 points behind Jason Riddle. James Greegate just kind of stagnating there in third position here on Monday nights. And behind him in fourth, 21, Tony Bowling at 13 points behind the leader, sitting there pretty good at 148 points. In fifth, up 2 positions, the 65 car of Sean Brown, 28 points behind the leaders, guys. And in sixth position, up 4, Roger Haygood, putting on quite a show here at the Hallsville Post Monday Night Madness Series, 121 points, 40 back behind the leader. Now, he shares that position with Hal Beardsworth. Look at Hal Beardsworth standing up 8 positions, guys. Hal Beardsworth knocking on the door, 40 points back of the leader. Down a couple of positions here, Jason Krause, 41 points behind the leader. Going to be quite a battle there with Hal Beardsworth, Roger Haygood. In ninth position, up a couple, Frank Jockman, 42 points behind the leader, Tracy. And in 10th, coming on board here in the top 10, up 4 positions, number 8, Dave Hooten. And I'll tell you what, looking for quite a night here at Charlotte Motor Speedway tonight, Tracy. Couple of interesting statistics. We've only been here 4 times before. The pole sitter has never won here. All but one of the top 5 has finished here at Charlotte. And then also the most laps led has only won twice here at Charlotte.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is a real tricky track, JD. It doesn't take much to overrun a corner and get yourself up in the wall, which is probably why you see a lot of your leaders who got the pole position maybe not finish and take the wins, because tell you what, all it takes a little push, come out of the corner and get into that right fender, into that wall, and that's going to really slow down your car for the night, JD.
You bet, Tracy, and the timer's counting down here, and we apologize for the short show, but we're going to go ahead and send it on down trackside. The Cactus Cuties present our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
All right, and we are back live. Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to go ahead and take you down through the grid here and let you know who's starting where in the positions here. Charlotte Motor Speedway. Starting on the pole tonight, 96 car, Jason Riddle qualifying in with a 28.69. On the outside, number 8 car, Dave Hooten with a 28.74, Tracy.
And your third place driver tonight, going to be that 42 of Kevin Brent. Starting fourth tonight, the 21 of Tony Bowling.
And on the inside, the number 4 of Dan White. Outside him, the 39 of John Elkins.
And starting sixth tonight, the number 39 of John Elkins. And starting seventh, the 55 of Dwayne Hall.
All right, starting in ninth position, the 99 of Steven Spieth. On the outside, the 65 car of Sean Brown in 10th.
And starting in eighth is that 7 of James Grigate. Sorry about that. And also starting in 11th position tonight, the number 3 of Hal Beardsworth. Starting in 12th, the 77 of Jason Krause.
Larry Mulligan on the inside, starting 13th. Outside of him, the 47 of Roger Haygood in 14th.
Starting 15th tonight, the 17 of Tom Plazinski. And starting 16th, the 37 of Jay Bunn.
In 17th position on the inside, the 33 of Jerry Hinkle. Outside of Jerry, the 46 of Jay Shaw in 18th.
And starting 19th tonight, the 49 of Frank Jockman. And starting in the 20th position, a new driver to RSN, the 66 of Gary Warren.
And starting in 21st on the inside, the 28 car of Howard Pittman. Outside him, the 15 car Brian Payson, 22nd.
And
go ahead.
Oh, and 23rd tonight, the 07 of Lance Walker.
All right, I tell you what, we'll go over some of these statistics here a little bit later on as far as our picks go. Didn't have a chance to go through that in pre-race. Pace car pulling off to the left, heading down pit road, guys. Getting ready to take the green flag. I'll tell you what, Dave Hooten earned himself on the
green flag. Go.
Up here, it's a good thing for that Dragon Motorsports driver here for the first time at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Up in front, Kevin Brent getting a run on Dave Hooten.
All right, yellow flag. Back it down.
Caution. Hal Beardsworth involved in that big caution. Jason Krause involved. Jay Bunn involved. Jerry Hinkle sliding through the grass. And I understand that may have been the 3-car Hal Beardsworth that may have started that whole thing. We'll see if we can't roll it back and find out what happened.
I'm pulling it back here now, JD. See what happened. There's a big... Oh, actually, it's not. It looks like the 77 of Jay Krause.
Okay, the leader just took the yellow. Pit road's closed. Pit road's closed.
I was taking a look at that.
One more time, but it looks like Krause and that 77 machine is going to just get right in. There's a big checkup right in front of Krause. Yeah, in fact, in front of Sean Brown, the 7-car James Grigate. 65 has to check up, and the 77 just nails him. Big monster wreck in turn 1, guys.
You've taken a second look at it here. It almost, I noticed at the beginning, looked like Dave Hooten got off to a little sluggish start there. Kevin Brent and Jason Riddle really had the run on him, so I don't know if that started the checkup. But you're right, the 77, Jason Krause, man, he just piles it in the back of the 65 car, and then it's, I tell you what, what's that game where that little ball bounces all over the table, Tracy?
Little pinball action happened out there, JD.
Pinball. Yeah, it looked like about
pits
6
are
or
up
7
for all
cars
cars.
here
Pit now.
mixed up in that melee.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look back here too, JD. You were talking about where the checkup might have started, so I'm going to just go in there and take a look. We got a little time here. We're under caution. I'm sure a lot of guys are getting their cars fixed out there.
Yeah, you bet. And while you're doing that, why don't we take a minute here and we need to take our hats off here for a minute and give our condolences to the Dan Weldon family, Susie Weldon and Sebastian and Oliver. Dan Weldon killed in a accident at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on Sunday. 2-time Indianapolis 500 winner, 33 years old, Tracy. And I'll tell you what, that's a big blow to the auto racing world, and a very unfortunate thing to happen this week.
Yeah, that's really a difficult day for them. They didn't finish the race with the Indy cars. They canceled it, did a 5-lap tribute, but also with Dan Welding's pass, and we also had lost a few race drivers in the off-road series. Rick Huseman and his brother passed away in an airplane crash also on Sunday, JD.
I'll tell you what, sad news coming from the racing world this week for sure. But back out here at Charlotte, first caution coming on lap 1, guys, 77 car getting in the back to the 65 and just starts a ping-pong action and took out about 5 or 6 cars. But pit road repairs have been done, back out on the track, and we're set to take another shot at the green flag, Tracy.
Yeah, I went back and I looked at it a little more there, JD. There was no real checkup. The outside line just didn't go. The momentum didn't pick up. James Grigate just kind of stayed the pace they did.
Okay, we're going
but
back.
But the group behind them were already accelerating a little faster than them, so Sean had to back out of it. And, just like they said, it's a train. Once everything starts happening, you just glide into each other, and by the time it reaches the first and farther back, they have no time to stop.
Yeah, you bet. And, once again, here at Charlotte, some interesting statistics here. The pole sitter has never won here at Charlotte at the Nation the 4 times that we have been here.
Yeah, this kind of shows you the difficulty of running here at Charlotte. I've been in the track quite a few times running. It's real easy to enter corner 1 on its restart, get stuck up high, and your front end tires aren't hot enough, and you'll just slide right into the outside wall, JD.
Yeah, you bet. And our picks here tonight, going over those here for just a minute. Sean Brown, ETV picks, had him at the top. He's got a couple of top 5s and a top 10 here. Always been a strong performer here at Charlotte, Tracy. Larry Mulliken, he also has a couple of top 5s, a top 10. And, Larry, pretty much a front runner, at least a top 10 driver wherever he goes. Jay Bunn sitting in our 3rd pick, 2 top 5s here. I'll tell you what, bank on a top 5 finish for Jay Bunn tonight. Of course, he was involved
green flag,
in
go.
Accident here. As we pick up the green flag one more time, Dave Hooten, Tony Bowling, and Dan White, Dwayne Hall, round out your top 5 on this restart.
Yeah, hopefully we can get around here, get a few laps in. Looks like everybody was able to get going here on the restart. Sean Brown got around the 28 pretty quickly on that restart there, JD. And I'm watching Hal Beardworth. He's trying to work his way forward as he goes around the outside of the 66 of Greg Warren. And I'd like to thank, welcome Greg Warren to RSN series here. And also following behind him, Larry Mulliken got a lot of damage to the rear of his car, but he's on his way working forward too, JD.
All right, yellow flag, back it down.
Spinning around here. It looks like, I want to say it's a 99 of Steven Spieth. John Elkins involved in that one, but I think it was a 99 of Steven Spieth that brought that one out, guys. Second caution coming out here at Charlotte.
And it looked like the 3 of Hal Beard was trying to avoid it, got involved in this accident too, JD. Just not, hasn't been Hal's day. He had any luck here in probably the last 2-3 weeks.
Pit road's closed. Pit road's
I'm
closed.
watching Steve Spieth gets tight there. It looks like he kind of corrects it. James Grigate comes up and just makes contact with the 99 of Grigate. Oh, man, what another big. We had the big one 2 laps in a row here. The 39 of Elkins going to just waylay that 99 machine. The 7 of Grigate. We got a big mess here.
Yeah, I was kind of watching that too, John. Looked like 2 cars fighting for the same piece of real estate. Didn't know the other one was going to be trying to occupy it.
Yeah, it almost looked like Grigate just comes flying up off the trial there just before turn 1 and just kind of not really a door slam, but well, I guess you would call it a door slam into the 99 car here.
Yeah, the 99, he was just moving a little bit off the wall, so he wasn't so close. And, when you're on that bottom side to enter that corner, you're trying to get as high on that straightaway as you can to get your best entry into it. And Grigate just took a little too much, and the 99 was coming down a little bit, but it looked like Grigate was probably moving the fastest up towards him, which made that door hit even stronger and causes them to spin out, JD.
You've had massive damage to that number 99 car from Steven Spieth, but I'll tell you what, 2 cautions. Three cautions is our average here, Tracy, at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but we'll have to keep tabs on that 99 car and see how long he's going to take in pit road. But I'll tell you what, 2 cautions here at Charlotte Motor Speedway already in the books. Why don't we go ahead and step away, take our first commercial break. You're watching live, ETV Live, the Monday Night Halls on Post Madness Series.
Whoa there, cowboy. Ain't no need to get the hammers out and tear it all up. What you need to do is get a hold of David Bass, DB Tech Services. Technology support offered at a price affordable to most churches, not-for-profits, and individual customers. I'll tell you what, David Bass, IT specialist, over 5 years at the corporate level. Hey, man, computer maintenance, hardware and software upgrades. I'll tell you what, David Bass, DB Tech Services, established specifically to provide lower-cost options to churches and non-profit
Okay, pits are open for all cars.
So
we
put
can
the
pit now.
hammer away, dude. Get a hold of David Bass. DB Tech Services. dbtechservice.com.
All right, and we are back live, ETV Live, Charlotte Motor Speedway. I tell you what, Tracy, working on our second caution of the night here, looking back through the records. We've been here 4 times, and we got out of here one night with just 1 caution, but our average is running at 3 cautions here for Charlotte.
Yeah, we're about to exceed that fairly fast here, JD, and most of these last 2 cautions have been with our veterans, and it's guys who've been here racing for a long time, so none of the new guys out there racing, of the 2 guys that are out there, aren't involved in these. Pretty odd that we're having this caution this fast, and the type of caution we have are pretty, to me, a way you could are both easily avoidable by these guys, JD.
Yeah, copy that, and I want to remind everybody, I'll tell you what, we do have the scanner, the ETV scanner, race scanner, back up online and activated for the race tonight. And I'll tell you what, you might want to be careful with kids around. You may hear some inappropriate language.
Yeah, these guys, this may be just a sim racing game, but you get you're mentally you're in the game just as a real racer is in a car. It affects you emotionally the same way, even though it's really not costing you anything in damage to repair your car later. But it is just in the fact of the competition level we have here at RSN.
Yeah, you got that right. And I'll tell you what, Jason Riddle, Dave Hood still hanging out there up in the front, Tony Bowling, Dan White, Dwayne Hall, your top 5 here on this restart as we get the 1 to go here. And again, our picks for tonight, Sean Brown, Larry Mulliken, Jay Bunn, James Greegate has a top 5 finisher, Tracy top 10, eager challenger anywhere he goes. And then Dave Hooten was our number 5 choice for Charlotte Motor Speedway. 1 top 5 finish here in the past, and also a top 10. He's quiet, he's reserved, but I'll tell you what, Hooten will sneak up on you before you know it. He's right on top of you.
Yeah, I tell you what, Dave Hooten has been doing a great job ever since he got that training with Dan White. Always seemed to run up front, been a really clean driver. Been able to control his car really well. I tell you what, doing a great job. Running up front there with Jason Riddle. Jason Riddle, of course, we all know how well Jason does out there. We're just having a few issues in the back, and, it really hasn't been the cars being loose or the cars being tight. It's just been driver error tonight, JD.
You've had one other interesting statistic here at Charlotte. In the last 4 times the nation has been here, all but 1 pole sitter finished outside the top 5. In the 4 times we've been here. So, and the pole sitter, of course, has never won. We mentioned that at the top of the show here. If we get set to take the green flag one more time here at Charlotte.
Then, green.
Looks like we might get off to a little bit better start this time around. No checkups that I can see, so we should be pretty safe here for this time.
Yeah, hopefully these drivers will get a couple laps in before they get aggressive about taking spots. But it looks like we almost got a 3-wide situation heading through turn 1 and 2. You know, I know a lot of these guys know the tires wear down, and you got to get as many spots you can on each restart. But I tell you what, we've had so many enough issues that early. Maybe the guys take it a hair easy and let things get rolling, JD.
You got this Kevin Brentson. Looks like Kevin Brent's and Brian Pace getting past the 66 of Gary Warren. Gary Warren, newcomer to the nation, it's like almost looks like Warren got a piece of the wall coming off, just come right down in front of the 65 car, and Sean Brown having to get off the brakes or get on the brakes here just a little bit to avoid that 66 machine. Actually, it's the 4 car. I'm not sure why we're doing that, but. Gary Warren, number 66. I believe he's in a game car. Got his paint coming soon, but had to use one of the standard cars tonight.
Yeah, I tell you what, we got some fresh, basically like they call it, meat out there now, running with us. Gonna take a little time, get them all set up. It took us a couple races to get Lance Walker and his freshly painted car. The 28 gets up in the wall, working on save without getting caught up in anybody. But I tell you what, that was really close, JD, because he was all over the track there for a minute.
Yeah, you bet. And keeping an eye on that 42 of Kevin Brent's currently running in 7th position, guys. Kevin Brent started in 3rd. I don't know if he was involved in part of that melee or not, but working from about the middle of the pack forward here, Kevin Brent's currently running in 7th, guys.
Yeah, I just watched Brian Pace there, JD, run a kind of a unorthodox line there. He went down low, hits about midway to 2/3 of the corner, then his car just slid all the way across the track up to the wall and lost a few positions, JD, chasing his car down.
You know, Charlotte Motor Speedway, interesting track here. You're going to find some of these guys just going to hug the bottom line here going through the turns. And then you've got the other preferred line.
All right, yellow flag. Back it down.
Caution comes out for the 3rd time, guys. See if we can't cycle around here and pick it up. Hal Beardsworth definitely involved in this one. Looks like Hal Beardsworth and Frank Jockman might be involved.
See if we can cue this back, see what happened here. These two are just saying, oh yeah, there's a car. It's like the 46
okay, the
car
leader just
up
took
in
the
the
yellow.
wall.
Pit road's closed.
Hal
Pit road's
Beardsworth,
closed.
don't see him. He comes back down across the track, just nails Hal Beardsworth. Beardsworth just not having any luck here tonight at all at Charlotte Speedway.
Yeah, I saw Frank Jockman right at the last moment take a hit here, and looks like Frank Jockman. You're right. Hal Beardsworth just doesn't have anywhere to go. Neither does Frank Jockman. As Jockman kind of ball peens Beardsworth in the back, and Beardsworth just goes bouncing off the wall, spinning. I tell you what, you know, Hal Beardsworth, his luck is just running out this week.
Yeah, he has been between the banana peels and getting caught up in crashes tonight. Tell you what, that almost Hal Beardsworth maybe just need to change cars, get into something that you don't normally drive. Maybe that'll change his luck for a couple days, JD.
Bids are open for the lead cars only.
Yeah,
lead cars only.
I keep watching this thing in slow motion. Beardsworth collides with the 46. And then starts heading towards the wall. Jockman comes along, gives him a little extra push, and I tell you what, it is just not Hal Beardsworth night tonight in that 3-car.
Yeah, we've already had a few cars put their cars in the garage, load in the truck, headed for the barn. I tell you, JD, we have the 65 of Sean Brown. He's already parked his car for tonight. And also the 46 of Jay Shaw. He's on his way out the door. And also the 37 of Jay Bunn. So we've already had 3 casualties of this race tonight. That's 3 less drivers out there. We're down to 20 cars on the field.
Yeah, I know, tough night for some of these guys, but I'll tell you what, action down on pit road. Why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take another commercial break. You're watching live, ETV Live, the Monday Night Halls on Post Madness series from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Don't wander off. We'll be right back.
Gorilla Customs manufactures cockpit simulation controls and performance computers that are innovative and at the highest level of design and application standard. They work hand in hand with professionals throughout real-world racing to provide technology and fabrication industry's highest level of unmatched quality. Made in the USA, people. Check them out today. Your place for your highest gaming simulation standard. www.GorillaCustoms.com.
All right, we are back live working off caution number 3 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hal Beardsworth, just running out of luck this week. Got an old banana peel just getting after him. But the 46 car of Jay Shaw bouncing off the wall. Hal Beardsworth makes connection with him and gets a little extra shove from Frank Jockman in that 49 car. But I'll tell you what, set to go on this restart one more time. Brian Pace, new leader. James Grigate, Lance Walker, Kevin Brent, Jason Riddle make up your top 5 on this one, Tracy.
Yeah, you got a few guys who stayed out with a real short run, didn't even get their tires warm, JD. And then now we look like that situation, you come into a corner, if your tires aren't quite warmed up or you run too high and don't turn in soon enough, what happened to that 46? He just pushes right up in the wall, and you actually get kind of hooked up there, and you're trying to get your car off the wall. But at the same time, you really need to pay attention to who's coming up on you. And sometimes you just need to stay on that wall and wait for them to go by and get a hold of the admins and have them remove. Usually you'll get a right-in-the-wall penalty. Just let them know that you stayed up there to not cause an accident, JD.
Yeah, Tracy, I've always been taught to, if you get up into the wall and you've got oncoming traffic coming up behind you, just turn into the wall. Turn your steering wheel to the right and try to stay
okay, we're going back to green next time by. Lap cars on the inside.
Way, the momentum kind of carries you along the wall, up out of the way from oncoming traffic. But obviously that didn't happen tonight as the 46 up against the wall and kind of peels off and then heads right down across the track in front of Hal Beardsworth. But I'll tell you what, tough night for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, we've got a lot of damaged cars running around out there tonight, more than we usually have. I'd have to say we've got close to half the field almost damaged in this field run around here now, JD. So that's really going to make a difference as far as if we get a long run here. Those guys with the damaged cars will start pushing or maybe possibly even get loose, and you'll see them start to fall back tonight.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, are you thirsty? Let me hand you this bottle of water here.
What do you mean thirsty? You sent me an empty bottle.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, that's something else new we're doing here on ATV Live. Something we've been kind of working on. Of course, John Wessling, the innovator here, working on this live broadcaster shot. We've been kind of practicing with it a few times using this Uvu video chat deal, but it looks like it's working out.
Green.
Pace picking up the green flag this time. Lance Walker, Brents, and Riddle, and White. Dan White, always a front runner, but I tell you what, Tracy, Dan White made a comment here at the beginning of the season, having a little bit of difficulty this time around. He says these guys are getting a lot faster and a lot more riskier.
Yeah, he said he had to work on the setups a little bit, losing a little speed as 15 of Brian Pace. He got up there in that wall, gives the opportunity for the 07 of Lance Walker, his third race with us, I do believe, JD, as the 15 gets back up the wall, got loose. Dan White was able to get behind the 96 as he was avoiding the 15, but tell you what, the 07 Lance Walker, I believe he He led that lap, but he tell you what, he got past in a hurry, and by that Kevin Brinson at 42, as the 4 of Dan White also passes the 07 of Kevin Brents, or Lance Walker.
Yeah, Jason Riddle down on the inside here, 2x2, going into turn 3. Coming off turn 4, it's going to be Jason Riddle with the spot. Lance Walker up on the outside. Here comes Hooten. Hooten qualifying second tonight here at Charlotte beside Jason Riddle. And I'll tell you what, both of those guys on the move towards the front. Here's the battle here tonight at Charlotte, okay? I want to go over these points here just a little bit.
All right, yellow flag. Back it down.
Caution number 4 comes out. Tracy, let's see if we can't roll it back and find out who brought this one out. I see James Greegate slowly making his way down to the apron here. I want to say him and Jay Krause might have had a piece of it.
Yellow. Pit road's closed.
Not quite sure.
Pit road's closed.
It's a 66 of Greg Warren there, JD. Looks like his car got loose up in front of this group. And the 7 of James Greegate and the 3 of Hal Beardsworth once again gets caught up in it. I tell you, rough night there, John.
Let's see if we can pull this up, guys. Yeah, and the 4 car gets on the apron, slides up to the outside wall, smacks the outside of the wall, loses it, then hits that apron and then slides right back up the track, right in the path of poor Hal Beardsworth once again. He's going to hit the tail end of that 4 car. And James Greegate's going to get tangled up with Hal Beardsworth as he's spinning around. Poor Hal Beardsworth. I don't think there's much left of that car, guys.
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching it again, slow motion. Same thing that happened last time. Comes along and, he basically broadsides the 4 car and then gets some extra help from the car behind him.
Lead cars only.
What a rough night
cars
for that
only.
3 car.
Yeah, I think Cal's pretty much just beside himself. Pretty much every crash and every caution, it's almost like he's being dragged into it. He is not the car that's started him, but he's the car that seems to be getting collected into him. I tell you, Hal Beardsworth and that 7 car of James Greegate have a lot of front-end damage, being that the 3 hit him broadside, and then the 7 of James Greegate hit the 3 broadside, JD.
Yeah, I thought I had seen, when I was looking for the caution here, I seen that 7 slowly making his way down to the apron down there. But tough night for the James Greegate and that Hallzone Post machine tonight. But I'll tell you what, Hal Beardsworth, when your luck just runneth out this week, maybe we can get him up here in the booth here in a little bit and find out. Maybe, Gremlins at Charlotte tonight.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's the last time we brought him to the booth after he had a problem, JD. Maybe that put the ETV jinx on him and it really hasn't gone away. Hopefully that's not the issue at this moment.
I'll tell you what, Hal Beardsworth not going down a couple of laps here, but I'll tell you what, if it does come out again, I believe he's probably going to be the get the lucky dog shot here. If we happen to have another caution. 4 cautions so far here at Charlotte, guys. Unbelievable. But I'll tell you what, we got a little bit of time here.
Pits are open for all cars.
Step away and take a commercial break, and we'll bring you the action back live here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. So don't wander off. All right. And we are back live here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I'll tell you what, Hal Beardsworth 3, James Greegate 2. Are we keeping score now, guys?
Tell you what, been a rough night for both them cars. I don't think I've ever seen James Greegate's car beat up this bad, except for when he had that crash at Grundy. His car is pretty close to that one.
Yeah, I tell you what, tough night here at Charlotte, but, you know, I know that there was some discussion earlier hanging around the garage about what time the race was actually going to start today, and apparently these guys had put some practice time in, Tracy, at nighttime. So we may be seeing
we're going back to green next time by. Lap cars on the inside.
Some practice sessions, and crew chief, crew chief's working on these cars during the nighttime hours. Of course, that makes a big difference when it comes to track temperatures and setting your car up. So we might be seeing the results of this.
Well, we don't really see much setup issues as much as just driver error more than anything, JD. If we were dealing with setup issues, we'd see people getting loose by themselves or possibly just pushing to the straight wall. We don't seem to be that, but I do believe maybe it was a full moon when they were practicing there at night, JD.
That could have been too. But I'll tell you what, on this get-go, the 42 car of Kevin Brents finally makes his way back up towards the front. Dan White, your Season 3 Monday Night Halls on Post Pro Series champion. Jason Riddle, Dave Hooten still hanging out there in the top 10 or top 5. Tony Smokin' Bowling up there in the top 5 in 5th position on this restart. And I'll tell you what, a little camera action here by our producer back there. We're working on this multi-screen, split-screen deal we got going here. And pretty unique. Beta test number 468, I think. I'm not quite sure. As we get set to take the green flag one more time, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, we're going to get this green flag. I tell you, Larry Mulligan
green.
Top 10 was a pretty damaged car, but running really great. Look for that 4 of Dan White to try to get around the 42 of Kevin Brent fairly quick here. So they go entering corner 1. Everybody pretty much following the same line. Looks like the 39 of John Elkins pushed high, allowed room for the 27 Larry Mulligan down underneath him, JD.
Hey, but Larry Mulligan, one of the hopefuls here is a 39 into the wall here, coming down the front stretch off of turn 4. Tracy, John Elkins having a rough night here. Managed to peel himself off. No caution as Tom Plasinski in the 17 car makes his way past him. But John Elkins left quite a bit of tape or paint along that wall come off turn 4.
Yeah, I talked to John Elkins earlier today, JD, before the race. This is his first trip to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. He was asking questions about lines to drive here. So John Elkins being a great driver and running up front usually like it is, this is one of the tracks that he didn't have any time on. So look at him to make this as much a learning curve as it is a race. But I tell you what, he's still running really good, still running strong out there on the track, JD.
You bet. And just trying to gather up a few notes here. One thing I want to talk about tonight and surely make mention of, the etv-eplay.net. Get over there and check out the new ePlay site over there. John Wessling and Sean Bickle have been working hard on it. As we have Dan White taking over the lead from Jason Riddle. I'll tell you what, this might be one to watch over there at etv-eplay.net too, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, they must have got the 42 of Kevin Brent pushed high, that 4 and 96 come around him, took it over that top 2 positions. I tell you what, the 42's got the 21 trying to work on him, get around him, get up to 3rd, but we've got Dan White running up front in the lead tonight, JD.
And guys, I'm just pulling that up on the ePlay, see exactly how Dan White did, and you're exactly right. The 42 of Brent gets up in the wall, gets slowed him down just enough to let Dan White get underneath him. And it looks like Tony Boland I know that's Jason Riddle in the 96 car. He's going to fall suit right behind Dan White.
I'll tell you what, Jason Riddle, Kevin Brents, Tracy, battling out up here, John. Kevin Brents and Jason Riddle come to Charlotte tied in the points at 161 even. And then we slipped down just a little bit. It dropped down into about 6th position down here. Roger Haygood, Hal Beardsworth, and Jason Krause. 1 point separates those three. 0 points separates Haygood and Beardsworth. Battle going for 6th and 7th position here, tied at 121. Jason Krause on the outside looking in, just 1 point behind those two. So we got a couple of battles happening here at Charlotte tonight, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, JD, I was just going through the lineup, looking down the row. Tell you what, with the top 6 have no damage on their cars, but as soon as you get to that 7th spot, the 27, Valerie Mulligan, that's pretty much where all your damaged cars start, is from 7th back. Larry Mulligan starting to lose some time on the leaders. Tell you the 47 of Roger Haygood, he's got damage. 39 of John Elkins damaged. 33 of Jerry Hinkle. Then you get back to 17 of Tom Brzezinski, he's got damage. Tell you what, pretty much from there on in the 77 with Jason Krause behind Tom Brzezinski, JD.
You bet. And, up here in 5th position, Dave Hooten. I want to mention him here a little bit. As you said earlier, spent some time with Dan White during the season 3 here at the Nation. Dan White acting as crew chief spotter full time for the 8 car. But I'll tell you what, I've seen a big change in habits and consistency with that 8 car. Dave Hooten has 39. Sounds like the 39 car getting into the wall again. But again, back to that number 8 car, Dave Hooten, hanging out up here in the top 5 all night, guys. Started on the outside of Jason Riddle tonight, and keeping his car clean. And I think that's what counts here.
Yeah, the 39, he's hitting the pit road there, JD. I tell you what, I've seen just a little smoke entering the corner. I'm not too sure if maybe the 39 locked up his brakes, but I know he hit pit road, getting some fresh tires and maybe some emergency damage, JD.
You bet. I'll tell you what, that wall has come out and bought several of them tonight, but a few of them on the trailer and headed for the barn. The 39 of John Elkins finally pulling his machine behind the wall, calling it a night. Sean Brown, Jay Shaw, and Jay Bunn, all three of those guys out and on the hauler and headed for the barn, Tracy.
Yeah, pretty rough night for a lot of these guys. Like I said, John Elkins was talking to me. This is his first trip here to Concord Charlotte Raceway, and tell you what, it wasn't a very good night for him. Had a decent qualifying run, but when it came to race time, this track can tell you what, jump up and bite the best of us.
Concord Charlotte Raceway? Where is that?
Unfortunately, the game listed it as Concord.
Yeah, I got a funny feeling those have something to do with the legal licensing rights and what have you. Formerly known as Lowe's Motor Speedway, and then back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Charlotte Motor Speedway actually not in the town of Charlotte. It's actually in the town of Concord, a suburb of Charlotte there in North Carolina. And if you ever get a chance to make a trip to North Carolina and get out there and see Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's a beautiful track. And I took a ride around.
All right, yellow flag, back it down.
Caution comes out again, guys, here at Charlotte. Looks like the 66 of Gary Warren.
Okay, the leader just took the yellow. Pit road's closed. Pit road's closed.
Looks like he just gets up into the wall, can't hang on to it coming off, and loops it around there, guys.
Let me see if I can pull this back, JD. He's coming into turn 1 here. Everything seems fine. And he gets to the middle of the track there. Kind of a weird place to get loose like that. But it looks like he just lost grip on the nose of that car. Went in head first into the safer barrier there and just loses it.
And another one bites the dust. I'll tell you what, rough night here at Charlotte, boys. A little unusual for this group. 5 cautions, Tracy. And our average for Charlotte, of course, as we said at the top of the show, 3. We've been here 4 times before and rather successful.
Pits are open for the lead cars only.
Yeah,
lead cars
I'm not
only.
too sure what's going on tonight. Just a rough time. Tell you, it's kind of, like I said, it's off our normal caution amounts. just seems to be jumping up and biting people. I tell you what, this is the most cars I've seen damage here recently, where we only have the top 6 are the only cars without any damage out on the track, JD.
You bet. It looks like everybody coming down pit road here, 4 tires and fuel. A lot of damaged vehicles, ball peen hammers coming out. Looks like some of these guys are going to have a little bit of extra time, which always mixes things up on the restart. But I'll tell you what, while we're under caution here, we'll step away. We'll take another commercial break. Commercial break?
Or got a break?
Is that kind of like a break, JD?
Break? Yeah, that's Yiddish for brink, for break. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and step away here and get situated again here. Something a little unusual happening at Charlotte tonight. We'll try to get it sorted out for you. But hey, don't wander off. We'll be right back.
You're watching ETV Live, the leader in sim broadcasting. The very best in the business brings you the highest in broadcast quality and archived high-def replays for you to watch anytime for free. Superior audio and exclusive instant replays by the ETV ePlay machine producer John West.
Okay, pits are up for all cars.
Like
we can pit now.
J.D. West, Tracy Flip Robinson on Monday and Wednesday nights. David Big Mouth Bass, Jesse the Outlaw James calling the action on Tuesday nights, and don't miss the ETV Live Band. Broadcasting weekly from RaceSimNation.net. Catch the Halls On Post Monday Night Series, True Gravity Truck Races on Tuesday nights, and the infamous Team Series on Wednesday nights at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. Have some fun with the broadcast team in the ETV chat room. Hey, and listen to a live race canner. It's all at RaceSimNation.net on the live feed link. Remember, ETV Live, the leader in sim broadcasting. It's the only choice, cowboy.
All right, we are back live. ETV Live beta test number 468, I think, or whatever it is, Tracy. But I'll tell you what, out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, coming off a caution number 5, guys, 66 car of, actually the 4 car, 66 driver Gary Warren, new to the nation, up in the wall, coming off of turn 4, and just couldn't get it back together again. But I'll tell you what, 5 cautions here at Charlotte tonight. A little bit unusual for these guys. But I'll tell you what, we're going to be here one more time in the truck, so you don't want to miss that. Tomorrow night, Jesse the Outlaw James, David Big Mouth Bass, True Gravity Tuesday Night Truck Series, Tracy, all starts at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, right here on ETV Live, and you don't want to miss that. Truck races have been pretty awesome over there at the iRacing group, and those boys really putting a pretty good show together. And again, that's going to be the Outlaw Jesse James and Big Mouth David Bass on Tuesday nights, so don't want to miss that one.
Yeah, I tell you what, JD, we're getting pretty busy here at ETV.
Okay, we're going back to green next time by. Lap cars on the inside.
And boys there at the iRacing actually picked up one more race they're running on Friday nights. If you want to keep up with what ETV is doing and what they're broadcasting, they're also broadcasting on Friday nights, JD.
All right, and I'll tell you what, I think they're just picking out a random race, if I'm not mistaken, over there. Is that correct, John?
Yeah, we're actually doing the iRacing series itself over there, and what we're doing is they usually have 2 to 3 splits on Friday nights on the B car, which is actually the Busch COT, and we just 1 week we do the top split, and next week we do the second split. So it's kind of a unique thing over there, and all the fans over at iRacing seem to really enjoy it. So we're kind of having fun with it.
All right, good deal. And then on Wednesday night, Tracy, we're back in the booth. Gateway International, I'll tell you what, looking forward to that race. Pretty decent little track, a lot of fun. I believe it's a 1 mile track, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll tell you what, the Wednesday night team racing series here at the Nation, some of the best action online racing you ever want to catch right here on Monday nights and Wednesday nights. And, of course, along with the Tuesday night truck races here at the Nation. Getting ready to go one more time here. Jason Riddle back out in front where we've seen him before. Dan White, of course, taking a second spot to him. Kevin Brents, Dave Boot, and you know what? Wendy Bernard, you got to be
green flag. Go.
Tony Bowling still hanging out there in the top 5 too. We'll talk to Wendy here in a minute as we get going here for the 6th time.
Yeah, we'll get these guys all wound up, get them up to speed back, heading around here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tell you that 96 of Jason Riddle was able to beat the 4 out of pit road, taking over that top spot, but he's got that 4 of Dan White all over his back bumper. And tell you the 42 of Kevin Brent just running back there a little ways, letting them guys fight it out as we have a nice start to this. Of Dave Hooten running in that 4th position, hanging with these guys tonight, JD.
You bet. And Tony Bowling still running in the 5th position back here, looking to make something happen. Looks like Hooten just gets a little bit wild coming off of turn 2 there, boys. I tell you, Tony Bowling almost getting into the wall here. And 45 laps in the books here. It's about time these boys start adding a little more coal to the fire, as we usually see here at the Nation. But Dwayne Hall back here in 6th position behind his teammate Tony Bowling.
Yeah, I don't think they have a whole lot more coal to throw to these fires, JD. I tell you what, they're running at a pretty high pace right here. I don't think any one of these guys is leaving anything laying on the table, but Jason Riddle does not want to let that 4 get by him at any time. But Jason Riddle pushes up on the high on the corner, gives the 4 the bottom of the track. I tell you what, the 4 has worked toward the bottom, got them side by side as we go over the start-finish line. Give that lap to Jason Riddle, but the number 4, Dan White, is going to have him heading through 1 and 2, JD.
You bet, quite the battle.
All right, yellow flag, back it down.
Caution comes out for the 6th time, guys. Tom Pozinski going around here, 17 car. Just caught that one out of the corner of my eye. See if we can't roll that one back and see what Tom Pozinski is doing. Oh, it looks like actually it was somebody in front of him.
Pit road's closed. Pit road's closed.
Looks like Brian Pace and Jason Krause, Tracy, might have got together here right in front of Tom Pozinski. Pozinski having nowhere to go as the 15 car comes right down across the nose, John. And I tell you what, that's going to do some hefty damage to that 17 car.
Yeah, guys, it looks like Pace is going to come down, and he's in the grass on the back stretch, or the front stretch actually. Comes down, just pushes way up, but Krause hits the wall, comes down a little bit. These two are just going to meet right about the middle of the center line. Tom Paczynski, just the innocent bystander here, is going to come right across the nose of Paczynski, going to send him into the outside wall. Oh, hard licking the inside wall by that 17 car Tom Paczynski, guys.
Oh, a lot of damage on that 17, tell you that back group. It's pretty much that way, and you can see that 7 of James Greegate, he has so much damage, JD, he can't even stay up with the back.
Yeah, this is getting pretty unusual here tonight for Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'll tell you what, the quality of racing we see here on pretty much any given night, Tracy, whether it's on Monday night, Tuesday night with these boys. A lot of these boys, some of them run over there on Tuesday nights in the trucks with the iRacing group. And then, of course, many of these guys, virtually all of these guys, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2, run on Wednesday night in the RSN Team Series. So, gremlins in the sky, full moon. You know what? I have no idea what's going on, but this is highly, highly, highly unusual for these guys here at Charlotte. Charlotte, our average caution here, 4 times we've been here, Tracy, we've had an average of 3 cautions, so we're way beyond that point.
JD, each season we get 1 or 2 races where we end up with lots of caution, way more than we're used to. They end up having a little talk with all the drivers, and it seems to clean up back towards the end of the year. I think that's just seems to be our cycle each season, as you get 1 or 2 races out where the cautions are just seem to be unlimited. Like it's just everybody's sign is reading just out of sorts.
Yeah, you bet. And I'll tell you what, tough night for these guys here. The Hall Zone Post Monday Night Madness. Well, of course, maybe the madness coming out tonight too. You never know.
Maybe it's that coyote you put over here on the stream page or on the.
Yeah, maybe it is that coyote down there. I'll tell you what, looking to have some fun here on ETV. But caution number 6, boys, coming out here on lap 48. why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take a commercial break here. And
okay, we're going back to green next time
bring
by.
It right back
that
here
car's on the inside.
So sit tight, don't wander off. We'll be back.
Whoa there, cowboy. Ain't no need to get the hammers out and tear it all up. What you need to do is get a hold of David Bass, DB Tech Services. Technology support offered at a price affordable to most churches, not-for-profits, and individual customers. I'll tell you what, David Bass, IT specialist, over 5 years at the corporate level. Hey, man, computer maintenance, hardware and software upgrades. I'll tell you what, David Bass, DB Tech Services, established specifically to provide lower-cost options to churches and non-profit organizations. So put the hammer away, dude. Get a hold of David Bass, DB Tech Services, dbtechservice.com.
All right, we are back live, ETV Live, Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Monday Night Halls on Post, Monday Night Madness series here. Dan White going to pick up the white flag this time around. Dave Hooten, Tony Bowling, Larry Mulliken, Jason Krause making up your top 5 on this restart as the pace car pulls off down the left, heading down pit road, and we're going to go racing for the 7th time here tonight.
Green, 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 green.
Yeah, let's get these guys rolling out here. Let's get this race ran to the end. Let's go green flag for 49 laps. Let's clean up this race. Let's get to the end here. Get a long run. See what these guys got. I tell you, Dan White taking off in the lead there again. Looks like he's followed by somebody different than 96 this time, JD. It looks like the 8 of Dave Hooten, the student, following the teacher around the track, JD.
There you go, the student following the teacher. And I'll tell you what, I'm sitting back here. The angle I've got on the 21 car here, Tony Bowling, he came off of turn 2 here, and the sparks coming off the front right all the way down the back stretch, comes off the turn, and tell you what, I don't see it now, but perhaps the tires just a little bit low on air, need to get heated up and inflate a little bit more. But I've seen a lot of sparks come flying out from underneath these cars tonight, Tracy.
Yeah, that's their splitter dragging there a little bit, JD. If you look at most of these cars, as soon as they land entering these corners, you'll see a lot of sparks flying. Tell you what, if they got that controlled, if you're getting down onto that frame, you'll see the cars that are running way too low, they'll slide way up the track. As I'm watching the 42 of Kevin Brents and the 96 of Jason Riddle, must have got tires on that time around, working their way back to the front. They're behind Larry Mulliken, who's running 4th with the damaged race car, JD.
But I'll tell you what, sparks flying off that 55 machine, too, as he got past the 77 of Jason Krause. Krause involved in a caution here a while back, got a damaged car out there. Looks like it's hurting just a little bit, but Dwayne Hall in that 55 hauls off post machine on his way forward, 2x2 in front of him with Brent's Mulliken, Jason Riddle getting past the 27 car.
Yeah, I tell you what, 27, he'll start falling back a little bit. He's got quite a bit of damage, but doing a great job to stay up in the top 10 all night with that 27, even with including his damage, as Dwayne Hall and the rest of them going to go up there and try to catch that lead group, but they got quite a bit of distance between them and 4 of Dan White. But if you like looking now, the tire pressure is starting to come up there a little, JD. Quite a few of the cars aren't sparking nearly as much as they were at the beginning.
There you go. I'll tell you what, it's been a long time since I've been behind the wheel of one of these things. Been an even longer time since I turned a wrench on one. So, hey, we're going back to the Winston Cup days. You remember them?
Oh, yeah. Tell you what, the way them cars ran back then compared to the new ones, drove a lot better than the new cars, less top heavy, and that's what basically these cars are based off that old Twisted Sister, JD.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, I'm back here with James Greegate in 16th position. He's got Hal Beardsworth out in front of him. A lot of smoke coming off the front end of that number 3 car here just a couple of laps ago. Not quite sure if it's tire rub up there on the front right. Of course, the 3 car, Hal Beardsworth, extensive damage to that front end as James Greegate gets past him. Of course, James Greegate trying to hang on to what he's got here at Charlotte. James Greegate involved in a couple of cautions here at the Speedway 2.
Yeah, it's very possible that number 3 of Hal Beards with the front end damage ain't pulling as much air as he needs to through that radiator. You end up usually having to pull a lot more tape off than when you started to keep that vehicle from overheating, but it's also possible may have added 1 or 2 pieces trying to get that car just to have some sort of speed to get up with these guys and run, JD.
I tell you what, playing with the camera buttons back here, and I'm still on this number 3 car back here in 16th position, getting a shot of the driver's side door here, and it's just absolutely all caved in. Looks like it might even be caved in right up to the roll cage, Tracy. Extensive damage on that number 3 Hal Beardsworth machine, that Office Depot machine he's running.
Yeah, I'm just watching. It looked like the 07 of Lance Walker, he was caught up in a couple accidents. Looked like he was smoking entering corner 1 there, possibly. The admin will keep an eye on the race admin, and we'll let them know if they think he's smoking too much, JD.
Yeah, you know, Beardsworth, I don't know if it's tire smoke coming off that number 3 car or whether it's tape on the radiator. I'm not quite sure. I know Hal Beardsworth likes to push it to the limit with the tape, and he may have gotten a little bit carried away with it, just trying to maintain race speed here at Charlotte. Keep that
all right, yellow flag, back it down.
Tony in line as the caution comes out again for the, looks like the 66 Gary Warren again, guys.
Yeah, I see this car down on the inside.
Okay, the leader just took the yellow. Pit road's closed. Pit road's closed.
7. I believe that's about the 3rd one that he's been involved in tonight.
See if we can cue this up, see what kind of trouble he got in this time. This time Jerry Hinkle's going to help him get in trouble, guys, as he's going to come down the front, or come out of turn 4, I believe that is. Looks like there's a little wiggle from the 4. I think he was about ready to lose it anyway. Actually, that was out of turn 2. Hard lick into the inside wall, guys, and I believe that's 3 for Hal Beardsworth, 2 for James Grigate, and 2 for the 4 car Gary Warren here tonight. And we're in the top of the 10th.
Yeah, I tell you what, John, taking a look at that replay, you're absolutely right. Looks like that 4 car just got a little bit wicked coming off the turn. Kind of backed out of the throttle here a little bit. Of course, that doesn't give Jerry Hinkle any room to move, and that's the end of that story. But caution number 7 here, Tracy, at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you take a look at the rear end of that Dodge there, and that
lead
4 car of Gary Warren. I tell you what, it's more aerodynamic going backwards than forward right now, there, guys. Oh, Tom Pazinski almost about ran into him there, JD, as he got spun off, getting back out on the track. I believe he's got a couple flat tires, just trying to get around back to pit road. But the 17 of Tom Pazinski had to make a drastic move to the outside, and looked like he scraped that wall trying to avoid that 66 car.
Yeah, it looks like Tom Pazinski, he's been caught up in a couple of issues here tonight, no fault of his own. Just one of those deals where you come off the corner and there it sits and no place to go. But unfortunate for that number 17 car for Tom Pazinski tonight too.
I'm taking a look at who's exiting pit road. Looks like that 4 Dan White is going to win the race off pit road, followed by that 96 of Jason Riddle. I believe he took 2 tires, and also that 42 of Kevin Brent. I got a feeling both them cars took 2 tires, JD.
You bet. And looks like Gary Warren, Brian Pace parking their cars tonight. Add those guys to the list on the hauler and headed for the barn. But I'll tell you what, caution number 7. We'll go ahead and step away and take another commercial break here. And you won't miss a thing here. We'll do a little picture-in-picture thing here, so don't wander off. We'll be right back.
Okay, pits are up for all cars. We can pit now.
Whoa there, cowboy. Ain't no need to get the hammers out and tear it all up. What you need to do is get a hold of David Bass, DB Tech Services. Technology support offered at a price affordable to most churches, not-for-profits, and individual customers. I'll tell you what, David Bass, IT specialist, over 5 years at the corporate level. Hey man, computer maintenance, hardware and software upgrades. I'll tell you what, David Bass DB Tech Services, established specifically to provide lower cost options to churches and non-profit organizations. So put the hammer away, dude. Get a hold of David Bass. DB Tech Services, dbtechservice.com.
All right, we are back live, Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I tell you what, Tracy, I'm thirsty. I'm gonna reach down here and see if I can't pull this water bottle up. Thank you, I got it. All right, having a little fun out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I tell you what, while those boys seem to be working their butts off down there on the track, we're having some fun up here in the booth. Looking over the chat room, a little light tonight. Frankie Samato joining us. He drives for the Dragon Motorsports team. Danny Gabaldon in the house. Danny, good to see you in the chat room over here tonight. And tell you what, a little interesting news. I didn't realize it. Talking to Frankie Samato one night, discovered that Frankie only lives about, maybe 13 miles from where I'm at. And Danny Gabaldon, I believe he said he was out in the San Bernardino area.
Okay, we're going back to green.
I was out there this afternoon visiting with a sick relative. But Danny Gabaldon and Frankie Samato, you boys, we need to get hooked up and do lunch, or if you both drink beer, I think a bar would be better. And if either one of you are techno geeks and own one of them, what is that, iPhone deal there, we might even get Tracy involved with us too and take him to the bar. So
yeah, I see that Danny's saying something about we need to be in the same look from the background, but Danny, you got to remember, right now I'm downstairs from JD. He's actually in a separate room right above me. That's how we can pass a water bottle from top to bottom.
It's like Danny and Frankie want to go to a barbecue place.
I think they wanted you to hand a piece of chicken to each other is what they were asking, but
we'll have to try that on the next one. I don't know, but I want to remind Frankie and Danny that boys, we live in California. There ain't no decent barbecue places out here. Dan White going to pick up the green flag this time around.
Green.
Dwayne Hall, Larry Mulliken behind him. Tracy, Dwayne Hall up there in the top 5.
Yeah, Dwayne, he's been keeping his car clean all night, hanging out there in that front group. But I tell you what, I've been watching Dwayne Hall, and it just doesn't seem like his car has the speed of that top 3 guys. He's able to stay up there and run good, but it seems like he doesn't have the power just to get to the back of these cars, JD.
You bet, and why don't we go all the way back to the 15th position back here, that 21 car, the other Halls on Post machine. And I'll tell you what, working past the 28 here, coming down the front stretch, Tony Bowling occupying a position in the top 5, pretty much the beginning part of the race. And I haven't seen him get caught up in any cautions or anything out here on the track, Tracy, but starting this time around, all the way back in 14th, having to work himself right back up to the front again.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you got a clean car tonight, it's going to pay dividends no matter where you start. Able to run faster than a lot of these guys back here with this damage. But I tell you what, we got a heck of a race here right now. 77 of Jason Krause, and 7 of James Gree, 33 of Hinkle, and 3 of Hal Bird was running all side by side, heading into 1, JD. Tell you what, there's only so much room for 2 cars around these corners, but I tell you that 3 of Hal Bird was ever to get in front of that 33, and now we've got the 21 of Tony Bowen. He's stuck in this pack trying to work his way through all these cars running side by side right in front of him, JD.
Too bad, it almost looks like caution number 8 waiting to happen here. The 33 car and the 21 car almost connect coming down the front stretch. I'll tell you what, 2 by 2 coming into turn 1, Tracy.
Yeah, and we got another car looking to sniff to get in the middle of that pack. The 99 of Steve Spieth is right on the bumper of Tony Bowen. Tell you what, great run by these guys. Looks like the 77 of Jason Krause so far has come out the victor on that battle, as he's ahead of the 7 of James Gregan, and the 3 of Hal Beardsworth as he's working his way underneath that James Gregan machine, JD.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, this will only last for a few more laps as tires get heated up and rubber starts wearing off 2x2 now for about 3 laps, guys, since that restart. Tony Bowling, Steven Spies, all of them trying to make something happen up here. Hal Beardsworth doing a pretty good job with that heavily damaged car, staying right there in front of him.
Yeah, Tony Bowling, he's going to get pretty heated up here. He's got a clean car, fast car, trying to get by all these guys that are damaged, going a little slower than him. Tell you what, Hal Beardsworth was trying to keep the 21 behind him, but the 21 said, I'm tired of this. Took the high side, followed that 33 of Jerry Hinkle around that 3 cars. Jerry Hinkle pushes a little high, about gets into that 7 of James Gregan. The 21, Tony Bowling looking to make it 3 wide down that backstretch, JD. Oh, that was close.
Oh! Man, the 33 car doing kind of a little dance there right in front of the 21 coming down the backstretch. Oh, almost making contact there coming off of turn 4. Heading down the front stretch. I'll tell you what, 33 car, Jerry getting out of shape or coming off turn 4, able to hang on to it, making contact with the 21. But 21 getting the advantage off of turn 2 here as they head on back down the backstretch, Tracy.
Now, it looks like that 77 of Jason Krause possibly taped that car up a little too much. Smoking entering the corners, JD. He really put a smoke show in front of that 21 and 33 entering corner 1 as we're heading down that stretch again. We'll see if that 77 of Jason Krause smokes this time. Nope, looks like he's going to back out of the throttle, keep that car from smoking as Jerry Hinkle catches right back up to him, JD.
You guys have been watching Jason Krause's car up here in 10th position, guys, at number 77 machine working the high line up here. Now, I've been here before, you've been here before. There is a couple of race lines here at Charlotte, and some of these guys like to run this high line. Sometimes it's the faster way around the track. You don't have to get off the throttle as much. You have to get off a little bit sooner, but you can get on it a little bit quicker coming off the turns, and you don't have to turn the car as much. But Jason Krause working that top side into the wall coming down the backstretch, guys.
Yeah, it's really difficult running that high line. Tell you what, you're just kind of skirting with running into that wall. It's got I think there's magnets involved in there. They'll just pull you in if your car just isn't turning really good up high, JD, as Jason Krause found out getting up in that wall. And I tell you what, he's still got that problem with a little too much tape on that car. Whenever he's trying to run with these guys, he's smoking, so he's going to have to start backing out deep in the corner to look for that 77 to start falling back there. The 33 of Jerry Hinkle is smoking entering the corners now. A lot of people running too much tape tonight, JD.
Yeah, Jerry Hinkle smoking coming off of turn 4, smoking all the way down the front stretch, guys. And I'll tell you what, race admins see that happening, and they're going to black flag that 33 car as he comes off of turn 2, heading down the backstretch. Smoking all the way around.
Ain't letting off either, guys. It's smoking all the way around the track. James Gregan's got so much oil on his windshield. I think he's asking Tracy to go out there and wipe it off.
You've got 76 laps in the book here, 100 laps at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I'll tell you what, race admins are about ready to black flag that 33 car. Not quite sure what's going on. Looks like Jerry Hinkle's signaling for a pit stop here, guys. He must have had some communication with his crew chief, and unfortunately going to have to give up a lap or 2 here to get down pit road and peel some tape off that radiator. Gregan into the wall coming off of turn 3, guys.
Oh, Beardsworth.
All right, yellow flag. Back it down.
And he got hit again. Wow, Beardsworth got caught up.
Beardsworth. Go ahead, Tracy.
Wow, Hal is just getting caught up in everything. He's decided to pull that car behind the wall finally. Looked like the 33 was going to try to get his pit. I wasn't too sure.
Okay,
there,
JD
JD.
Just took the yellow.
It was very strange. It looked like Hinkle jumped back in the gas, trying to go around one more lap, and just checked up the whole field. And looks like Hal slowed down, and somebody else didn't, John.
Yeah, it looks like Speece didn't slow down. Gregan's in the outside wall, guys. Speece going to give Hal Beardsworth a little love tap. Going to slide him right into Hinkle. This blocks the entrance to pit road for Hinkle, so Hinkle can't go down pit road because Beardsworth, that 3 car, broadside right across pit road there. nowhere for Hinkle to go. Oh, and then Tom Paczynski comes through and nails Beardworth one more time, and I'd say that's lights out.
Yeah, I tell you what there, JD, I don't think Jerry Hinkle was even slow enough to make it to pits, even if Hal Beardworth wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, I'm trying to check the speed on the 33 car coming off the corner there. I can't quite get the speed off of him, but you might have been right. He may have been just slowing.
Okay, pits are open for all cars. We can pit now.
Tough night for that 3 car tonight, guys. I'll tell you what. You know, even at that, Hinkle did signal for his pit. He did everything right, and unfortunately couldn't make it down pit road because of the 3 car sliding down there in front of him.
Yeah, JD, I don't. Yeah, he might have made it for speed there, but Jerry Hinkle, instead of getting down on the apron to enter pit road, chose to stay up on the track on that low line and run it around there. He would have been stopped, but yeah, I tell you, he couldn't turn in that 33 of Hal Beardworth. But I tell you what, that was some tough luck again for Hal.
Yeah, you bet. And I'll tell you what, it's been a tough night here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but you know what? Why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take another commercial break right here. We'll bring you the action live. Halls on Post Monday Night Madness series on ETV Live. Don't wander off. We'll be right back.
Okay, we're going back to Greenville. Stand by.
All right, we are back live. ETV beta test number 468, Charlotte Motor Speedway. I tell you what, the gremlins are occupying these cars here tonight. I tell you what, Hal Beardworth pulling his machine behind the wall. And as we say here on ETV,
headed for the barn.
Headed for the barn. I'll tell you what, Hal putting up a pretty good fight here tonight on at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Halls on Post Monday Night Madhouse Series. But I'll tell you what, that makes about 7 cars, I believe, on the hauler tonight, not able to finish the race. Green flag coming up one more time. This will be the 9th time that we've picked up a green flag here tonight. Dan White's going to pick up his. Kevin Brent's, Jason Riddle, Dwayne Hall still sticking it out up there in the top 5, and Dave Hooten. I'll tell you what, hats off to Dave Hooten. Wendy Bernard, team owner of Dragon Motorsport, in the booth with us tonight. Sorry, Wendy, we haven't been able to get to you yet, but Dave Hooten put on a pretty good show tonight.
Yeah, he did. He's been good out there, and that's exactly what I like to see.
All right, and his racing.
Green.
Frankie Samato in the chat room tonight as we get the green flag for the 9th time tonight here, Tracy. And 81 laps in the book, so about 19 laps left here at Charlotte. We'll see if these boys can make it to the end.
Yeah, now the wick is really going to be turned up on these top guys. With this few many laps left, they're going to be pushing as hard as they can as Dan White leads them around into corner 3 and 4, followed by that 42 car of Kevin Brent with the 96 right behind him. I tell you, 55 Dwayne Hall having a rough time on starts tonight. Has fallen back about 6 car lengths, JD.
Yeah, guys, Jerry Hinkle ain't even making a lap, but he's already puffing smoke all the way around the track.
Jerry Hinkle on that 33 car having a rough night tonight. Hey guys, and tell you what, backing off the throttle back here, last one in line, trying to inch that car around this track here tonight, and just get the checkered flag under his belt here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Jerry Hinkle having all kinds of car problems as the lead pack's just walking away from him. Tracy.
Yeah, it looks like he's having a damage issue with probably his oil cooler. Going to end up being like Jeff Gordon here on that race where he ran his car for 30 laps with his oil overheated in engine before that car expired. Looks like Jerry Hinkle's having a problem. 42 is having issues.
No. Well, actually, he's having issues thanks to the 96 machine. Jason Riddle getting into the back of the 42 machine, shoves him into the wall here. I don't know if a caution's come out yet or not. Can we verify if a caution?
Yeah, the caution is not out, guys. I'm not sure here, but Riddle's going to come in the corner. And I can't tell if Kevin Brents gets loose here or Riddle. It's kind of hard to tell from this. Yeah, it looks like the 42 comes into this corner 3 here. It's hard to tell. He might have got a little loose. He might not have, but definitely Riddle in the back of him, but they're still going green.
Still going green. I'll tell you what, that's going to set the 42 car back a couple of notches here at Charlotte as he rides the wall and gets her back in shape again. But looks like he might even have a tire down, Tracy. He's down on the apron. Looks like he's going to come into pit road and get that thing fixed up. That'll put him down a couple of laps here. 85 laps in the books here. About 15 of them left. So I got a funny feeling the 42 car is probably pretty well done for tonight.
Yeah, that was a pretty expensive incident there for also the 96 of Jason Riddle, as he's fallen way back and back into 6th position after running up there in that top 3 when he got in the back of the 42. So I'm not too sure if Jason Riddle might have got some damage from that, but it looked like he just got out of line, had to save his car, and lost a lot of spots. He fell way back behind all these cars. But look who's running up there in that 4th position, JD. A newcomer to RSN. Second night running here in the Monday Night Series. That 07 of Lance Walker running 4th place. Doing a great job, JD.
You bet. And I hate to tell you this, but I'm having some technical problems of my own. My scroller on my mouse quit working, and I'm looking at James Gregate's lap times for like the last 20 laps. So I have no idea who's in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or what.
Yeah, we got Dan White leading this, with Dwayne Hall's now in 2nd place, JD.
All right, well, at least I can cycle through the cameras and see the positions that way. But I'll tell you what, the 88 laps in the books here, about, 12 more laps to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. When the 10-lap mark comes, there'll be no more lucky dog. And if a caution comes out, I don't know if we've got a lucky dog recipient or not. It looks like it might be Kevin Brents, but he's currently down 3 laps.
Yeah, so he won't be able to make it back up in time to get back up to them leaders. As they're heading in, they're already on lap 90, JD, so there'll be no more lucky dogs. We're in our last 10 laps of this run here as the 21 of Tony Bolin trying to catch up to that 07 of Lance Walker, make back that position. But I tell you, the 96 Jason Riddle run up front all night. Looked like his car has slowed down a little bit. He's just trying to get back up to those 2 cars running. I'm trying to look at the leaders here. I tell you, the 8 of Dave Hooten is caught up with the 55 of Dwayne Hall. Dwayne Hall seemed to have closed the gap between him and that 4 of Dan White. So we're going to look out for a really good run here for the last 10 laps, JD.
You bet. And Tony Bowling just getting past the 07 here, Lance Walker. But Tony Bowling sitting about almost 3 seconds off of the lead up here. So he's got a lot of track to make up. About 3/4 of the front stretch to get up to that top 3 up there. I don't know if he's got enough under the hood of that 21 machine to do it or not, but I did get my stats back here watching Dave Hooten, Dwayne Hall, and Dan White up here in front. And I'll tell you what, Dwayne Hall, he's another one that patience runs out about 2 laps on that 55 machine. And I'll tell you what, if you don't get out of his way, he'll do the chrome horn move on you and boot you out of the way.
Tell you what, he's having everything he can to get to that back bumper, that 4 there, JD. Looks like Dwayne Hall, that last corner, drove his car a little too hard on accident. It's starting to push up. And tell you what, it slowed him down, and Dan White was able to pull a little distance as now that 8 of Dave Hooten is looking underneath that 55. He's got his nose down there. Dwayne Hall moving up the track, giving him some room. They'll be racing coming off of corner 4 here, JD.
You bet. Not coming down the front stretch here, side by side to 55 and 8 of Dave Hooten. Hooten may come out the winner here if he can hang tight down there on the bottom, and he does. Dwayne Hall into the wall. Dwayne Hall into the wall. That's going to set him back quite a ways here. 93 laps in book, 7 laps to go here, guys. And if this thing stays green, Tracy, I don't think Hall's got enough to get back up there with Dave Hooten and Dan White.
Yeah, I think I was watching Dwayne pushing real hard there to get to that 4 of Dan White. I think he just overheated those front tires. That's why when he went in that corner side by side with the 8 car, had no grip left in the front. They were too hot, and just let it slide right up there into that wall. So I'm pretty sure Dwayne Hall has just overheated them front tires and just probably going to have to try to hold on to the position he's in. But it looks like he's got a pretty good gap between him and the 21 of Tony Bowling.
Yeah, you bet. And 5 laps to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Dave Hooten's about 3 cars, maybe 4 cars back from Dan White, but Hooten gets a good run going into turn 2, coming off of going down the backstretch back here. Gets a little bit closer to Dan, but I don't know if he's got enough to get to his bumper or not here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Coming around, it'll be 4 laps to go here, and Dave Hooten fighting hard, trying to get up to the bumper of that number 4 car.
Yeah, be curious to see, Tracy. The master Dan White is the one that's really helped out Hooten there in that 8 machine. It'd be very curious to see if Hooten will actually go around the master.
Yeah, you kind of got to watch out there. You look at Dan White; he's able to hug that bottom all the way around the corner, and you watch 8 of Dave Hooten. His car is starting to push pretty good as he goes way wide on the exit. But I tell you what, he's gotten them within a half car length of the bumper of the 4 of Dan White. But like I said, laps are starting to run out. You're going to see he's probably going to push that car harder than he probably normally should or ever been helped instructed to, trying to catch up to Dan White. Dan White probably just running that car as hard as he needs to just to stay in front of Dave Hooten.
You know, Tracy, Dan White doesn't spend a whole lot of time looking in that rear view mirror. He knows what he's got to do. He's out in front, and he's certainly been at the podium before many, many times. But Dave Hooten putting on a big show out here. I tell you what, he's got the teacher in the front of him out there leading him around. 2 laps to go here. The next time around, Dan White will be picking up the white flag, and Dave Hooten, number 8 machine, is going to have one more shot to try to get it done. But I tell you what, Dave Hooten going into these corners hot. Car pushing wide, coming out of the turns here just a little bit, trying to get it up there. I don't think he's got enough to do it, as Dan White picked up the white flag, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, Dwayne Hall just sliding back, overheated those front tires. The 21 of Tony Bowling was able to get around him. Tell you what, the 96 of Jason Reynolds looking to get up to Dwayne Hall, to move Dwayne Hall one more spot back. It's got Tony Bowling running 3rd and Jason Reynolds running in 5th and Hall in 4th. It looks like Dan White is going to hold on to this to lead the final lap and take the win, JD.
You bet. Dan White crossing the start-finish line. Checkered flag is out, and there it is. Dan White, Dave Hooten with a tremendous show tonight in 2nd place. Tony Bowling finishing 3rd. Dwayne Hall with a respectable 4th place finish, and a top 5 for Jason Riddle in that number 96 machine here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, guys. I'll tell you what, it's been a wicked night here at Charlotte, and I'm glad to see that checkered flag fly, Tracy. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it was good to have that longer run there towards the end, get this race over with, but we got to give a great job for the 07 Lance Walker, not been here very long, getting through this really rough race tonight, finishing up in the 6th spot tonight, JD.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, as we watch the number 4 Dan White machine down on the start-finish line burn off what's left of his tires, smoking them up. Why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take a commercial break. Get ready for the Halls on post-race show here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So don't wander off. We'll be right back.
You're watching ETV Live, the leader in sim broadcasting. The very best in the business brings you the highest in broadcast quality and archived high-def replays for you to watch anytime for free. Superior audio and exclusive instant replays by the ETV ePlay machine. Producer John Wessling has talented commentators like the Cowboy, J.D. Webb, Tracy Flip Robinson on Monday and Wednesday nights, David Big Mouth Bass, Jesse the Outlaw James calling the action on Tuesday nights, and don't miss the ETV Live Band. Broadcasting weekly from RaceSimNation.net. Catch the Halls on Post Monday night series, True Gravity Truck Races on Tuesday nights, and the infamous Team Series on Wednesday nights at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. Have some fun with the broadcast team in the ETV chat room. Hey, and listen to a live race canter. It's all at RaceSimNation.net on the live feed link. Remember, ETV Live, the leader in sim broadcasting. It's the only choice, cowboy.
All right, we are back live. The Halls on Post. Monday Night Madness, Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I'm standing down here in Victory Circle with none other than the master himself, Dan White. Dan, you've been to Charlotte one other time here in the last 4 races that we've recorded here at the Nation. And you're picking up the second trophy here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tell me about your race.
I got to tell you, Sean and I worked on a setup here, and it's still just an awesome setup. We kept working on it during the race as we knew our competitors were going to work on their setups and try and make them a little bit better. And, man, this car was just on a rail all night long. I was real happy with this car tonight. Great race. A few too many cautions, though.
Yeah, you bet. I'll tell you what, going back through the records, and of course we do our homework, Tracy and I, we came up with a 3-caution average here. 4 times we've been to Charlotte, Dan, and come out with an average of 3 cautions. So unusual night tonight here, Charlotte, coming out of this one with 8 cautions. But I tell you what, you took season 3 off. You spent some time with the driver of that number 8 machine, Dave Hooten, and he happened to finish second behind you tonight. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was thinking of that coming around the corner on the last lap. I was thinking, yeah, the teacher and the student, and I was coaching him. Come on, Dave, use that draft. Get up here, try and make a pass. Come on. But he had wore his stuff out trying to get up there, and he didn't make a couple of the changes that I had suggested, during our pit stop. So he was a little timid at doing that. So I think that's what beat him.
I'll tell you what, good effort by the teacher and the student tonight. And Dan, I got one more question I want to put to you. You're sitting 15th in the overall points here for the Halls on Post Monday Night Series. You pretty much dominated the season in season 3, or in season 2 rather, before you took that season 3 off. And you had an interview with us one night. I believe it was a team series. And you stated that, when you came back, a lot of these guys are just so much quicker, so much faster. Is that what's going on here with the 4 machine? Or is there another reason why Dan White doesn't occupy the top 5?
Yeah, we just got off to a bad start first couple of races, got ourselves into trouble and dug ourselves a hole, and we got back there in the points, and it's just one of those things. We'll bounce back. Here we are. I'm not sure which week number this is, but back in the winner circle, we're just going to go for wins. The heck with it. I'm just going to try my best and tweak on the setups that I do have and try to stay competitive. But I'm not going to really pound for it like I thought I was going to at the beginning of the season. But we're too far back. We got too big of a hole, and I don't wish my competitors any bad luck, but that's what it would take in order for me to get back up there. So I'm just going to have fun.
There you go. I'll tell you what. Any shout-outs out there you want to give, Dan?
Yeah, give a shout-out to Dwayne Hall and John Wessling and Sean Bickel and you and Tom, for doing all the hard work that you do to keep Race Sim Nation working and going. And shout out to you guys doing the job that you do in the booth and putting on these fantastic broadcasts for us, even though we give you crappy races sometimes with a lot of cautions.
All right, Dan, I'll tell you what, no problem there. And like I said before, you're always welcome up here in the booth. When you got nothing better to do, maybe on a Wednesday night when you're not running a team series, well, you're more than welcome to come on up here in the booth and broadcast with us. Dan White, the winner tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm going to throw it on down the road just a little bit. I believe Flip Robinson is standing by with the student, Dave Hooten.
Yeah, I do believe I caught up with this number right here. That number 8 car of Dave Hooten. Tell you, Dave, doing a great job tonight. Staying right up there, running in the top 5, stayed out of all the trouble. Tell us about your race.
Again, man, I'm just blessed to have great guys. You know, Dan showed me a lot, and just blessed to have a good setup tonight. You know, I was searching through my setups, and I was like, holy crap, I think I got rid of the best one, but I don't think I did. You know, and then a lot of respect for Dan for what he's done for me. I've still got a confidence issue, and I see a guy behind me, I'll more than likely I'll let you go. It's hard racing up front of here. It's just a lot of fast guys, and I have to say again too, I won a race at Homestead with Sean Brown spotting for me, and he was spotting for me tonight, and he's got to be the best spotter out there.
Yeah, Sean Brown, he had little problems tonight. Ended up getting out of the race early, but that's great to hear that he gave you a hand with a little bit of spotting, because sometimes in this track you need that kind of help. Is there any thanks you'd like to give out there tonight, Dave?
Just thanks to Dan, thanks to Sean for stepping up and doing what they're doing, sharing their knowledge and everything, and thanks to Dwayne for the great tracks. Thanks to ETV, John, JD, Wendy, you, Tracy. I got a kick out of watching you last night, with the webcam and everything. It just puts a picture to the face, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like we always like to say here, one thing we're going to have a lot of fun while we're doing this, and that's what, to tell you what makes these broadcasts fun for me to do. Keep coming back to it, and I tell you what, I enjoy watching you guys race and commentating on it, and I'd like to thank all the drivers for that. But I tell you what, that's your second place finisher tonight, the 8 of Dave Houghton. And I'd like to throw it on down to John. I do believe you caught up a third place finisher, Tony Bowling.
I sure have, guys. Caught up that 21 car of Tony Bowling. I mean, I think he was at every spot on this track at one point tonight, Tony Bowling, and seemed to get your car through there without too much horrible damage, enough to bring that car back to third spot. But a rough night out there tonight for the Halls on Post Pro Series.
Yeah, it was a terrible race. We was up front and got a bad pit stop and got shuffled to the back, and I think all them cars back there had damage. I know when I got behind them, I was about quarter throttle all the way through the straightaway just to keep from running them over, and lost a lot of track position, and we got a caution. Got back up there, and then I think it was Riddle and Brents got together, and I got way woed up for that to keep from running anybody over, and just to get back to third place was a feat of its own.
Yeah, Tony, a lot of action out there on the track tonight. We've actually had a baseball game going, too, tonight at the same time. I think it was Al Beardworth 4, James Greegate 3. I can't even remember who won. I think Al Beardworth won in the 10th inning with 4 crashes.
Yeah, it was pretty chaotic out there for sure. Not something we're used to coming to Charlotte and doing. This is usually a pretty decent race, and I don't know, I can't say what was going on. All the cautions were behind me, thankfully, so I didn't get caught up in any of them. But it's just, I think it's the product of everybody getting so much faster and everybody's racing so hard. And you have to race hard every lap, to finish in a top 10, and that's what a lot of guys are trying to do.
Yeah, I think it's been quite a few seasons since we've seen a race this rough here, Race Sim Nation, especially in the Halls on Post Pro Series. Tony, what do you do when you see a race what I like to call it, ETV going south. I mean, what do? Do you just fall to the back and just try and miss all the wrecks till later in the race, till some of them guys are crashed out, or what's your philosophy on a race that you see going south?
Actually, it's like totally opposite of that. It's stay up front and stay out of everybody else's mess. And yeah, usually when you get back there in the back, even if it happens, up towards the front, you'll still get people crashing towards the back because they're running people over and not getting checked up in time. So it's totally opposite. I didn't want to be back there and in the back, but I had a real bad pit stop. Went from like 3rd to 16th, and it was chaotic. Once I got past, them 5 or 6 cars that was racing side by side back there, it was a little bit, I could breathe again. But there for, 5 or 6 laps, it was pretty nerve-wracking.
Once again, congratulations. I didn't see Angela Hall tonight to root you on, but congratulations, 3rd place finish. Great points night for you once again here, Tony. Anybody you want to give a shout-out to before we send it back up to JD Webb?
Definitely all the admins here at our Race Sim Nation. We got a pretty good thing going here. You guys up there in the booth for putting on these awesome broadcasts. John, I know you post them, and I promise you I watch them all. I don't think I've ever really wrote anything, usually because my wife's hollering at me to get off the computer. But thank you for doing what you guys do up there in the booth. And then, my sponsor, Angela Hall, and Hall's on Post. My teammates, James, Dwayne, Kyle. It's just a really good thing we got going here.
Yeah, I definitely want to thank the whole ETV crew, Tony. I mean, we never stop innovating new ideas, and I think that's what keeps us fresh and alive here in the sim community. But we always have fun trying new stuff. And JD, next week, where's some deodorant so Tracy doesn't have to keep hitting the fly swatter to knock the flies down in the booth?
You know what, I'll tell you what, we may not be any better than the rest of them, but we surely have more fun right here on ETV Live. Well, I'll tell you what, Tracy and John, 8 cautions at Charlotte tonight. Wicked, wicked night for these guys. Usually get out of here with about 3 cautions or less. Dan White taking home another trophy from Charlotte. Dave Hooten, teacher-student finish tonight. What a race.
Tell you what, it was just rough out there. A lot of car-to-car contact, more than it was getting loose on the track. We had a couple, but not nearly as many as we usually have when we have a lot of cautions. A lot of just, car in a car, and that's not usually what we see out here. But I'm sure they're going to clean it up there, JD. I tell you what, even all this fun we have, and we got to thank a lot of people for the fun that we're allowed to have. And we'd like to thank True Gravity Arts Design for the RSN website. Tell you to take a look at that website. Very modern and good-looking site. MTCO Gaming Server for hosting the best sim around. Very sturdy and strong servers. Stay up all the time. NVG Web Hosting for hosting the RSN website. Keeping that up on the World Wide Web for us. Halls on Post for sponsoring the Halls on Post Monday Night Madness Series, ETV Live Chat Room, and the Post Race Show. DB Tech Service is sponsoring the Saturday Night Thunder Series. And also Arca League Manager, our points manager software, the Sim Factory, for producing a great game like Arca Sim Racing, JD.
All right, and I'll tell you what, always got to thank Exile Racing sponsoring the Sunday Night Shakedown Series, the Nation itself. I'll tell you what, ain't no better racing than you'll find right here at the Nation. Tonight was just a wicked night, but RaceSimNation.net. Get over here, get signed up. You want to strap one of these babies on, come out here and play with these boys. Get it done right here, RaceSimNation.net. Jody Johnson, he does the headlines for us here at RSN at the Nation. He also does the weekly power rankings. And, of course, we always like to thank our producer, John, the bad boy Westling. I tell you what, executive producer for ETV Live, does a bang-up job. Always looking for new and innovative things to do here with ETV. And, of course, you're watching the latest innovation right now, able to see both the broadcasters here on tonight's race. And then also we'd like to thank Dwayne Hall, track master here at the Nation, for reworking these tracks here that we like to race on. And, of course, my co-hosts on Monday and Wednesday nights, Tracy Flip Robinson, Wendy Bernard of Dragon Motorsports for being with us. And then thanks to all the drivers who, without them, Tracy, we wouldn't be able to put on such fantastic shows here on a weekly basis. Want to remind everybody, tune in tomorrow night. And I'll tell you what, Jesse the Outlaw James, David Big Mouth Bass, John the Bad Boy Westling, they're going to be at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It'll be their turn, 9 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. Be back here on Wednesday night, about 8:40 p.m. ETV Live. I'll tell you what, the RSN Team Racing Series will be at Gateway. You don't want to miss that race right here on ETV Live. So I'll tell you what, wrapping it up from Charlotte Motor Speedway, again, we want to give our condolences to the Dan Weldon family. Dan Weldon, two-time Indianapolis race car driver, Formula One driver, lost his life at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on Sunday, 33 years old, leaving behind wife Susie Weldon and two little ones, Sebastian and Oliver. And again, our condolences to that family. So that'll wrap it up from Charlotte Motor Speedway, ETV Live. Hey, we'll see you on Wednesday night.